Yo, we back. Four Quarters Podcast. Got my guy Smitty, of course, and
What up
Coach.
with it?
Yes, sir. Coach Ren is on the circuit for real. He's out there really coaching, man. So you gotta commend my guy, man. He taking the meeting from the whip. So he out there really in the heat of things. So much respect, man.
Nah,
Um,
facts.
yeah, Smiz, man, start us off, man. Where we at?
Um, GWOC roundup. Last time we spoke with Wayne versus Meadowdale. But Wayne had senior night, February 13th versus Northmont. I ain't gonna say the second to last home game for the seniors, but definitely felt good walking my boy across the court. Senior night with family.
That's
They got
fire.
a nice tough win against Northmont. Played exceptionally well. This past Wednesday, they took on a Aiken team, and yeah, that was
100%.
probably one of the best games of the season for Wayne. Last home game. Um, went up. I want to say double digits against them, and then Aiken ended up making a strong run, tying the game up late, and then Wayne ended up taking that run and going on their own run, and I want to say they won by 12. Um, Definitely a good win to end the season on, going into the playoffs. The last two games actually. Um, Definitely after the Centerville game, from Centerville after that game to Aiken, definitely turned it around. So they should be having high spirits going into the playoffs. I see first round they match up against Springboro. The last two games, I want to say Springboro. The first one was a ugly win at home, and then the second one kind of was, a better game. So hopefully they handle business against Springboro, and they'll take on the winner of Colerain and Saint X. I mean, not Saint X, but Colerain and Moeller.
Well,
So that should be interesting.
I think it's interesting for Wayne though. You finished the season 17-4, which for anybody that's a successful season, especially considering who they play. They're in the GWOC, very tough conference. They're on a 5-game winning streak headed into the playoffs. They're healthy. Everybody's in the game playing well. There's no issues. I mean, Wayne could make a nice little run. You know what I mean? It really just depends on which Wayne you get that night. But I
That's a
mean,
fact. That's a
they're
fact.
on a hot streak right now, man. Again, I mean, this isn't the. I mean, the first one was like a 7 or 8 game win streak. Now they're on a 5 game win streak. So I'm anxious to see what they do in the playoffs, who they really are when there's a 1 game elimination. You know what I mean? Like when the pressure is really on, what Wayne is all about, and that's obviously going to follow all the way up to the coach. What
For
is he
sure.
about? So we'll see.
To me, I feel like the two major factors in Wayne's tournament run, one, like you said, is coaching, and two is unselfishness. Um, they have a few players who tend to um, be a little selfish at times, and I feel like if that's going to be the way that they continue to play in the playoffs, it's not really going to work out well for them. They need to actually be unselfish and play together as a unit if they serious about making a state run this season, and that's just being all the way honest. The egos, the selfishness, the I want to get the bucket, I want to shoot the shot, it got to go out the window. They need everybody hands on if they plan on making a deep run into these playoffs, and that's just as simple as it's gonna get.
For sure. For sure.
Um, I really think Wayne can really make a run into regionals. I honestly think, and I've been saying this probably since the first part of the season. I felt like Wayne can really do something special. I think I really think they had a chance to really go undefeated. To be honest, like I think, you know, them falling to Fairmont twice kind of rattled things a little bit. That definitely threw a wrench in the game. But also, I do think um, both of them Centerville games was very winnable. I mean, not both of them. That one at Centerville was winnable at first, you
For
know.
sure. For
And
sure.
I really feel like everything just fell apart. You know, everything just fell apart when they played at Centerville, and it really shouldn't have. So I really do think, and they play Wyoming, and is really good. You know,
No, for
Wyoming's
sure.
really senior led, and you know they got some guys over there that can really put that ball in the bucket.
They only have one
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. They only got one loss. So I really feel like Wayne really could be undefeated. They, you know, some things could have happened, you know, couple possessions here and there, they could be undefeated. But now it's like, you know, everybody's 0-0 now. You know, records really don't matter now to the point, you know, it's any given day now.
For
You
sure.
know, possessions matter now. Possessions matter so much now. You know, and it's to the point. I really hope. I really hope Wayne really values possessions because I think that's going to be the key for Wayne. If they can be able to value a lot of their possessions, I think they can really make a run into regionals. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, like I said, we done seen Moeller. Moeller has been really up and down. They haven't been really consistent, you know. But they also got to get past Springboro, and I think Wayne has trouble with Springboro's 1-3-1 half court. They have a lot of trouble with that 1-3-1. So I think if they can be able to figure that out, and I think if they can be able to execute, you know, in the half court, I think they can have their way against Springboro. But it's hard to be able to defend, or it's hard to be able to score on 6'2", 6'6", 6'6", 6'7", and 6'10". It's hard to be able to try to be able to score against that. So I do think, I mean, they done it before. They done it both times. They done got a sweep out of them. But it's hard to beat a team. It's hard to beat a team three times.
For
well, it's
sure.
interesting when you talk about Springboro because like that's one of the few teams that I didn't get a chance to see this year. But when you're talking about that type of size, it just makes me feel like in the playoffs, that size can be more effective,
Yes,
right? It may
yes,
not have shown up the first couple of games, may not have shown up every time in the regular season, but when everything's on the line and the adrenaline is pumping and you in the heat like that, like, yo, that could be a dangerous team.
yeah. And see, and I'm glad you said that. Right when it's tournament time, right? Regular season, you know, it's kind of like you catching wreck for real. Like you kind of catching wreck. You know, you can get the feel of the game real easy. You know, you can be able to score. You know, you can be able to score easily. You can be able to defend easily. Right. Once you get in the tournament time, every possession matters. A bad shot that matters. You know, being able to not make layups, that matters. Leaving points on the floor, that matters. Not getting that
Selfishness.
offensive rebound, that matters. Not getting that valuable steal, that 50-50 ball that you got to be able to dive on the floor, that
Fact.
matters. Them are winning plays that you
Fact.
got to be able to make to be able to get over the hump against a lot of teams. And it really matters. It really shows up in tournament time. So if you start to see like, and Coach Bell's like, I think he does a solid job with that group. You know what I'm saying? I think the big kid, I think he like a senior, and I think like this is like his second or third year of just playing basketball, period. So like I really think that
He could come alive.
Springboro, that's what I'm saying. Like they can really come alive to the point anybody can be able to make a run. Like I don't even think it really matters on seeding. I think it just matters on matchups. Who matchups with who who can be able to exploit who matchup, who can be able to make who adjustment at that point in time to be able to win the game. That's what it's
Hmm.
gonna come down to.
I mean, to get back to your point, I definitely feel like if there was one, if there was only one game that Wayne lost that really I wouldn't question, it would be to Wyoming. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not
Yeah,
even saying that they couldn't have won that game, but out of their four losses, that's probably the only one I truly respect. Other than, of course, I respect the Centerville loss, but like you said, you going into the third quarter up 5, and you end up losing by 30. So it's like, granted, I definitely tip my hat to Centerville, but at the end of the day, that game is still winnable.
yeah,
Now, y'all know
very
how I
winnable.
feel about them losing to Fairmont, so I don't even want to go down that path again. But there's no way you let them beat you twice the same way. You got to get that. You got to put that on coaching. You have
Wyoming
to put
makes
that on
sense
coaching. You know what I'm saying?
because yeah, I was just going to say Wyoming makes sense because Wyoming beat Centerville as well,
Yes,
and they beat them by 10 or 12. So, and then the game that Wyoming lost, because again, like we said earlier, they only lost one game. They could have easily had an undefeated season.
yes. I really think, and this is just being real, right? I really think Centerville and Wayne is probably the top teams in the area, right? And if you come up and come beat both of them, I feel like you have a real
You're
chance
correct.
of getting far in the tournament. You
For
know what I'm
sure.
saying?
For
And not
sure.
only that, and this is just being real. Right? This is just being real. A Division 4 team coming up and beating both of your top Division 1 powers in the area.
Yeah,
Oh no, we gotta do some. Hey, we gotta do some soul searching here because it shouldn't be no way that. And don't get me wrong, right? Yeah, Wyoming is a Division 4 team, but as well as they have Division 1 talent.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just like saying about Tri Village, right? Tri Village end up being a Division 1, and I can say Fairmont is one of the top teams in the area as well.
Right.
You get beat by 40.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't even score
it was not
20.
even close.
You don't even score
From start
20.
to finish, that game was absolutely ugly.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
for sure.
And they could have
That's
beat you worse, but they kind of
for
like
real.
the gas off. Just you know what I mean? We up 40, whatever, man. Coast, let the reserves in.
Yeah, nah, that's a fact. So like that's why I say like I really feel that I Wayne and Springboro is gonna be a very good first round matchup. It's gonna be a very good first round matchup,
Ain't
and
got
I
to get
really
out and
feel
run.
like
Wayne got to get out and run. I don't feel
I agree.
letting them come down and set up that 1-3-1 is not going to work in Wayne's favor. I'll say that.
No,
That's
no,
not something that they need to let them do because, like you said, they give them problems because you got people that want to pound the ball too long and don't want to pass the ball, and that's going to be a problem because,
If
like you said,
Wayne,
you got 6'2" with their hands up, you got a 6'5" with his hands up, you got a 6'7" with his hands up, and that's creating conflict in them passing lanes. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to get them passes through there like that. So coaching and playing unselfish is going to be the two keys to Wayne getting far in the tournament. If cats want to be
Wayne,
selfish and get they points off and get they shots off, and they're going to look, they're not going to get far. I'm just being all the way honest. They're not going to get far. If cats want to be individual, this not the time to be an individual. This
yeah,
is not the time to be an individual. It ain't the time to be looking at the score books. It ain't the time to be looking at your averages. Are you trying to win or are you trying to be an individual? That's what these
yeah,
kids need to look in the mirror and ask themselves. Do you want to play for your team or do you want to play for yourself?
yeah,
We can get into the Centerville versus St. X. We was pumped about going to that game. Hey, Centerville, I don't know what y'all was doing. 6 o'clock Friday night game.
didn't tell
I'm
y'all
so
like that.
confused, man. I'm so confused. But they ended up losing that game by I want to say 12. We
13 or
heard
10.
that Trey Sam tweaked his groin. I'm not sure
ooh,
at
that's
what
tough.
point of the game, but he didn't finish the game, so I'm pretty sure that definitely hurt
I don't think he played.
Centerville.
He didn't
You
play
said you
that
don't think
game.
he played at all?
Nah, I don't think he played that game, and I want to say he might not have played the game before
Okay.
because
So
he's
he's
not
been out
he's
the
not in
last two
Marshall.
games. So
Yeah.
that makes sense now. So yeah, banged up. I mean, Centerville versus Saint X without one of their best players, arguably the best player on the team. Um, you would expect you would expect that to happen then.
So, because St. X is tricky, we know St. X, I believe, they beat Trotwood earlier this year. And that's when Trotwood was really trending well. They were just, I'm not saying they're a different Trotwood, but they were on their game. I don't think they had lost up to that point. And if they did lose, it was probably only to St. X. So the thing is, St. X beats a team like Trotwood, but they've got quite a few losses to where you don't know what St. X team you may get. And then to your point, not to have Trey on Centerville, he's too critical of a piece for them on both sides of the ball. They can't run their system really well without him. You know what I mean? So him not being on the floor was tough. A couple other things that concern me about Centerville, though. You need Trey to be there, but you got Dash, the point guard that comes off the bench typically. He had 2 points. Gavin Nolan, 0. Miles Houston, 0. This is what worries me a little bit about Centerville. And you and Coach Wren brought this up in the Wayne game, the second Wayne game, because when that 5 comes out and that second 5 comes in, the dip in production on some nights is scary to a
Yes,
point
sir.
where now I can't take my team, I can't take my guys out, right? Miles Houston is a shooter, and he got decent little game. He can get to the cup. You can't have 2 points. Gavin, you can't have 0 points. Miles, you can't have 0 points, fam. You just can't. I know you have bad nights, but even without Trey, this should be a better game. And the only reason why I'm bringing that up is because the playoffs is about to start. We just talked about what the playoffs is all about. So if you got kids not wanting to, or not even saying that they don't want to, but if you got kids that don't show up, Sam Keeley had 22, young boy Juju had 6, well below his production. He's at least a 10 to 12.9 a guy. Ty Rohr had 12, but on this type of night, Ty, I need you to have 17, fam, respectfully.
No, for sure.
Because he can do it. We wouldn't ask him or expect him to do it if he couldn't do it. So all I'm trying to say in a nutshell is Centerville gets back, Trey gets back, full force. Centerville is a threat again, all the way up to the likes of Lakota. That's probably where the buck may stop, right? But you're not going to get to Lakota if your reserves cannot score and produce. It's going to be over.
And
Don't care about
that rotation starting to get tight
Yeah.
now that it's
Yeah,
playoff
I
time
was
as
just about to
well.
say that.
So
Mm-hmm.
kids that's used to coming off that bench during the regular season, if the production ain't there,
They can't do it.
that little minute that you in there, if you ain't doing nothing, you might not see the field, you might not see the floor again. So, like you said, this is definitely the time to produce. You know what I'm saying? This ain't really the time to be trying to figure nothing out. As a coach, the guys that's going to be productive, they need to be on the floor
Yep,
at all times.
for sure. And they need those guys. They need 7 to 8 players to come through. They're like a Wayne in a sense, right? There isn't like one kid that is 2 to 3 times better than all the kids on the team. You know what I mean? There's not two, you look at Princeton, you got 2 or 3 kids on the team. One is an All-American, the other 2 are top division or top Ohio players, ranked literally in the state, top 10 guys, right? So Centerville's not like that. Centerville has a nice collective of good players, right? With Trey probably being at the helm, very similar to a Wayne. Again, you got 3 players come off the bench, combined 2 points. You know what I mean? They are a team game. That play team ball. They are a team.
No, for sure.
One guy's not going to come out and score 30, 40. It's possible, but they need all the players to play, at least the nucleus to play.
All
Again,
hands on deck.
all hands on deck. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, this is Cups. It's not his first rodeo. He has the talent. He has the elements So let's see how it all plays out. But again, man, it is a little concerning. You got what, 8 points between 5 players?
Mm-hmm.
6. Ash had 2. The other 3 had 0. That's concerning.
And he's made deep playoff runs with, I'm not going to say less talented teams because I don't want to say that, but
Mhm.
we were kind of shocked when we seen him go to the state with JP that year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying they wasn't supposed to be there because they got there, but it wasn't the typical Centerville team that won state when they
I
went
would
to when they
say
went.
I hear what you're saying, but I would say that team had. I would say that team was pretty elite. You know, when you really look at where these players end up going, they all went Division One. You know, JP plays for North Carolina. The big man, I can't remember where he went, but he played D1. They had the point guard who ended up playing at a small D1 school. They had another
Oh,
small
your man.
team. Yeah, they're
I know
all
who you
playing
talking about.
Division One. They're all playing Division One basketball. They was all on that team. This team has some future guys, but they still young, got to develop.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
I don't know if this team stacks up with that team. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? JP's at North Carolina. Who in this flock do you think is going to North Carolina? It's possible, but right now I don't really see it, you know?
So, so hold on, let me speak on that real fast. So, um, I do think that Cups is definitely going to snip that rotation down for sure. I
Mm.
don't think you probably won't see no platoon swapping or anything like that, especially when it becomes tournament time. I think you'll start to see a lot of more. The league starts to get tighter. You know, if Dad start to get on there and start turning the ball over, you might not see him in the
Might
game for
not
too
see him
long.
again.
Yeah, you might not. Hey, because the regular season is used for, you know, being able to get all the bad habits out. Getting all of the unnecessary turnovers, the bad body language, all that, that's used for that. Now, this is money time. We talking about, trying to get back to a state championship. So, when you in that rotation gets snipped. I will say though, right, and um, shout out to Trey and shout out to Juju. They was first team. I think Trey was first team all GWOC. I just found that out not too long
Yep.
ago. He was
Mm-hmm.
first team all GWOC, and then Juju was second team all GWOC.
As a
So
freshman.
shout out to them. Shout out to them. You making a all GWOC team as a freshman. That's always tough. Always tough. So shout out to them. But I do think that um, you're going to start seeing Cups really, really get into his bag. I think once he get the Lakota West. But we also got to remember too, though, right? We also got to remember all these kids are coming back next year. This is really all a size up.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah.
This is really
No,
this
for
is re-
sure.
this is really all a test to see. All right, where we really at now? If they end up beating them, then you know how that goes. We're gonna continue to go. But this is all building up for next year. This is all getting ready for, another run for next year. I do think they can be able to make a run to the regional finals. I definitely do think they can be able to do that. But I also think that this is just thinking about the future. You know, um, so I do think Centerville. I think Centerville's fine. I think they're fine. I think they end up finding a way to get to regionals. Do I think that they will beat Lakota West? Probably not. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a game. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a basketball game.
Sure.
So um I got some faith in Centerville. Um it's just if they wanna do it. That's really what it come down to. So
Right. Yeah, I mean that's a tough one, man. I mean, to your point, this time next year, I don't know if there's too many people you can say can beat Centerville if they're playing on their game. You know, all those players are going to become juniors and seniors. Juju's going to be a sophomore, so he's probably going to, you have no idea about his development right now. You know what I mean? He could just
yeah.
take off.
Might grow a few inches. I mean,
Yeah,
he young, so
Everybody's
yeah.
scared.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll
And,
see how that.
and not only that, right? Like Juju has done got used to the speed of the game, on the varsity level. It's a different speed, when you going from freshman, you coming in as a freshman, playing on the eighth, playing in the middle school and all that. It's a whole different speed
So,
once you get on that freshman. I mean, once you get on that varsity floor, it's a whole different speed. So I think going into the next year, you want to see a lot. I think you're gonna see I think his pace is going to be a little bit more sped up a little bit more. You're gonna see his game mature a little bit.
yeah,
You going like I said, you're gonna see him, um, making more moves that is gonna be like, oh,
no,
okay,
yeah, you're talking about
it's starting to come out
you're
now.
talking about comfort. You know what I mean? Like
Yes, yes,
once he starts
yes,
getting comfortable and be like, okay, I can impact this game when I would like
yes,
to. That's going to be
yes,
a totally different player.
yes.
hmm No,
And
for
and
sure.
and,
I agree
and
with
not
y'all.
only and not only that, right? And I'm gonna be done talking. Not only that, you gotta think, right? Chemistry is a bad boy. Chemistry is a bad boy. So you telling me this whole team is coming back? They just won a GWOC, and the crazy schedule that they just had, they gonna run it right back?
Yeah, nah, they're all of them. Ty's a junior, Keely's a junior, Juju's a freshman, Trey's a junior, Dash is a sophomore, Miles is a junior.
They don't have no seniors.
Scary hours.
Yeah, they don't have no seniors, and you don't
Uh,
Scary
even know what's gonna
hours.
come. You don't know what's
Calvin
gonna
is a
come through
junior.
that door.
Calvin is a
No.
junior. Yeah, because you know how they move. Spencer is they have no seniors on the team, brother. Not
That's
one.
scary. That's
Scary
scary.
hours. Scary hours, man.
Scary. That's
Oh
scary.
God. Let's talk about Princeton Oak Hills. I don't know.
Upset.
Yeah,
Upset.
there
Yeah,
you
ups.
go.
That was just a weird to me. That kind of popped out to me because, granted, you come off a tough loss to arguably the best team in Division One, which is Lakota West.
Then you beat the
Um,
best Trotwood.
yeah, you smack Trotwood, and then you lose to Oak Hills. I don't know a lot about Oak Hills. I heard that they have a good coaching staff, but I don't know. I don't see how Princeton, they're the hype around them and how good they're supposed to be. How they let that one get away.
Talk to us, coach.
Um, Oak Hills is like one of them teams that'll come around and you can't never sleep on them. It's like one of those teams that is you don't think to take serious, but you really got to take them serious
If you could
because
compare him to a GWOC team, just to so me and him could kind of relate, who would you kind of like put them in the same category as, so we could kind of get a better
I say
picture?
Fairmont. They're kind of like
Okay,
a fair, kind of like
okay,
a Fairmont. They're kind of
all
like a
right.
Fairmont. They I don't know if you remember Coach Price that was coaching at Sinclair.
I'm not familiar with him.
So I think, yeah, he was at Sinclair, and I think he ended up taking the job down there. Uh, they gonna run their sets. They want to keep the game low scoring. I think that like I said, Oak Hills is kind of like a sleeper. They're one of those sleepers that can actually, I wouldn't say make a run in the tournament, but they can beat somebody in the first round.
If you don't come to play, basically, if you don't come to play, then it's
Oh
over
yeah,
with.
yeah, it's
Okay,
over with. They gon'
gotcha.
they gonna end up beating you for sure. Like you can't take them lightly at all. And I want to say Princeton probably took them lightly.
I mean,
Probably took them lightly.
just looking at the box score, what stands out to me immediately is everybody's under their average. Johnny Santiago's 13. He's usually around a 14, 15 night. He's the closest to his average, but he went 5 for 11. You know what I mean? So it looked like it was tough. Then you got Cam Mercer only scoring 11 points. He's a 17, 18 a game night type of guy. And the real red flag is Amir Gill only scores 4. Only
Mm.
shoots
Mm.
the ball 6 times. So
Pete. And that tells you right there,
Tell of the tape.
coaching. Yeah, that's coaching, right?
mhm,
Because you know your scouting report. Like you know what you came in there like, and that's the thing about high school basketball, right? You have to be able to know your scouting report. You got to be able to know who is who. You got to be able to know these kids. You got to know their tendencies. You got to know where their spots is. That's where watching film, like it comes a thing. If you're not literally paying attention to that scouting report or watching film, you're gonna end up getting beat. You're gonna get beat. And that's what I think that's what happened to Princeton. Princeton probably got out coached,
right,
and
yeah.
them players. I know them players over at Oak Hills. They play hard. They play real hard.
They showing up.
So yeah, they showing blue collar guys. That's all it is. It's just blue collar guys. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So
They showing up.
uh, yeah. So like I said, they keep consistent, right? If you're not higher than them and you're lower, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. So hats off to Oak Hills.
Sure.
Uh, that
Big
was a
win.
big win,
Big
a
win.
big program win. So I
Low
do
key,
think,
low key, I wasn't familiar with your game type of win. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
No, that's a
that's a
fact.
fact.
We get into the Dayton Showdown Part 2, man. Dunbar versus Trotwood. This Valentine's Day, and everybody heard the hype around the first game. So this game, I definitely had to be there. Tickets sold out. They ended up putting tickets back on sale at 10 o'clock Saturday morning. I was up at 9. I had to get there. Atmosphere, man, it felt like a playoff game, man. I mean, it was rocking the minute I walked into the gym, bro. I'm talking about, and this was at the end of the JV game. It was rocking, man. I want to salute both coaching staffs, both programs, because this was a game, man. This was a real good game. Surprisingly, Dunbar controlled this game up until the fourth quarter. Honestly, they were up each quarter. They led each quarter. They was up each quarter. Tell the two halves though for sure. The first half, Dunbar basically controlled the game. At one point, they even went up 10 or 12. But right before half, this is the turning point to me. Right before half, Trotwood got the game down to, I think they ended up going into the half down 6.
Yes,
And when they came out, the second half went on a run and ended up going up. And then it was back and forth from then. I was very impressed with Darius Dennis, that first quarter. He had 10 out of Trotwood's first 15 points. And I mean, undeniably getting to the bucket. He scored at will. He got into foul trouble and he sat the whole second quarter,
Mm.
which kind of hurt them. Corey, he didn't really have a good first half. I'm not sure what happened going into that second half or if somebody talked to him. But between him and J Maul that second half, it was like a Corey J Maul show. They was going back and forth. Hats off to J Maul. He won DPS Player of the Year. Go ahead and clap it up
Man,
for him one
man,
time, man.
man, good stuff, man.
Sophomore guard. But yeah, that was a good game. Corey had, of course, I know everybody's seen this. It made Sports Center next. Tween Moses. Being at the game, Moses knew it was bad because when he fell, he was like, and then he hit the three, and that put him up 5. But Fields comes back down and he hits a big three in the corner, and they down 2. So this game was back and forth, man. I mean, it sucks that it had to be a loser, but um, Dunbar late. There was 2 plays. I think it was tied, and a cat from Dunbar ended up traveling. turning the ball over, and then Trotwood's up 3. I want to salute Sun because it takes heart and guts to take that shot that he shot. And granted, they definitely could have got a better shot, but you hit that shot, you tie the game, you're a hero. You miss it, y'all lose, you got to take what comes with it.
Yep.
But all in all, man, it was a hell of a game. Even the cheerleaders was turned up. They had their little flip battles. I mean, this was just a game that just you just had to be there, man. It was just if you love basketball, competitive basketball, rivalry, tradition, because we all know, the tradition that comes with Dunbar. We know the traditions that come with Trotwood. So just these kids didn't have to get up for this game, and it lived up to the hype. It definitely lived up to the hype, and it'll be interesting to see both of these squads move on to the tournament and see what kind of run that both of these teams can make, because I definitely believe that both of these teams could make a nice run in the tournament.
So
So, yeah, I watched the game on YouTube as well. You are totally right. Darius Dennis is legit one of the best players in the city, and I can really vouch for that just because like I said, he one of mine's. Obviously I might be a little biased. Um, he really shows that on the floor. In that game, Darius definitely got to a hot start. He was getting to the rim whenever he wanted to. Um, you know, I think they was going through him a lot.
Yep.
They was going to him a lot in that game, and it was to the point that it was looking like he was going to have a career night that night. But and that's and this is the problem,
The
right?
same thing, bro. I thought the
Yeah, like
same thing.
I'm thinking like, oh yeah, this might be a 30 ball. This looking like
For
a real
sure.
30 ball.
For
So
sure.
but here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. When Darius gets in foul trouble, I think it kind of slows Trotwood's momentum down just a little bit. And I say that just because Darius is really their X factor. Darius is the guy who's checking your best big, or who can check one of your best guards, or if they need a bucket and Darius can be able to have a mismatch if he's playing on the wing or as a guard. He can go get you a bucket on the low post. Or if it's a big, he can put you on an island. He can go get you one as well. So Darius is one of them guys that is very versatile. You know, he can really go get his own, and I also think he can hit the midi and everything else. The problem is though, he has to be able to stay on the floor for the Trotwood to be great. He has to be able to stay on the floor and for the Trotwood to really make a real great run. I really think Trotwood can be able to get. I think they can make a run to the state. The problem is, can Darius Dennis stay on the floor?
No, I agree with you on that. That's what I seen in that second quarter, and I'm like, where Dennis at? And they like he in foul
He in
trouble. I'm
foul
like,
trouble.
ah, okay.
He in
And I
foul
forgot to
trouble.
mention, shout out to Corey Reeves. He scored 1,000 points
Oh, yeah,
he scored
yeah.
a
Clap it
thousand
up for
points
him.
that game too. So shout out to Corey. Corey's a gamer, man. He's a gamer.
Yeah,
Like I said, man, that second half, he took that personal. I don't know what
yeah,
happened, but in the second half, he took that game personal, and I definitely want to tip my hat off to him. A wonderful career, over 1,000 points, and
yeah.
I'm anxious to see what Trotwood does in the tournament. And we could keep it on Trotwood because they played Reynoldsburg. What was that? Either Monday or
That was a
Tuesday.
Monday. That was a Monday. That was a
Monday
Monday.
game. Now this game, it was funny because we watched it on YouTube, and me and Hump is texting back and forth, and he like, Man, they about to get ran out the gym. And that's what it looked like at first because Reynoldsburg came out hot, but the second half, Trotwood started, you know what I'm saying, playing Trotwood basketball. But what blew this game for Trotwood was the senseless turnovers. They did not take care of the ball late. And it was just turnover after turnover after turnover. Bad shot selection here, bad shot selection there. And granted, Reynoldsburg wasn't even trying to put them away. They got 3-point heavy, and they didn't even hit a lot of the threes, but they were shooting that three crazy that game. I'm just talking
Hmm.
about like unconsciously shooting threes, but Trotwood not handling the ball, it started leading them to getting in the fast break buckets. So they wasn't even shooting
Yeah,
the threes no more. They just it's just laid up. It's just layup after layup after layup. It take me back to if Trotwood wants to make a deep run in the playoffs. Granted, like we said, Dennis has to be on the floor, and they have to take care of the ball. Have to take
yeah,
care of the ball.
I think
yeah,
it's going to fall on Kari because he's their primary ball handler. He's the only one. I wouldn't say only one, but he's the one that stands out to me the most that can go anywhere he wants to with the rock, whether you in a full court situation, whether you're trying to trap him, whether he needs to get to the rim, he's to break the whole D down. He's the only one that has like that total package outside of Dennis, which I think Dennis is more of a inside the 3-point line threat. You know what I'm saying? He gets the ball in different spots. Kind of reminds me like of a
15,
Zion.
17 foot
Yeah,
guy.
Zion plays like that. You know what I mean? Even though he's a high flyer, Zion plays really well in the league with in that 10 to 17 kind of foot range, quick off the dribble, mismatch. But it's just the turnover machine that was Trotwood in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter, is just senseless turnovers, just being very negligent with the rock, man. Bad passes, moving too fast, just kind of was looking a little silly out there at different times, man. You know what I mean? So Trotwood just has some loose ends to tie up because they have everything to compete at a very high level. And just to coach's point, they don't have your typical personnel. Like not every team has a Darius Dennis. Like that's kind
hmm,
of a rare thing to have on your squad. Not everybody has a Jakari. You know what I mean? To get a bucket anytime he wants, can hit the three. You know what I'm saying? Tween game. Gets you know what I mean? Quick, lightning quick. Then they got bigs. You know what I mean? They got a hustle guy off the bench. My ball dude. What's my
Oh
man's name?
yeah, number 15,
are
definitely.
you
He
talking
kept him
about
in that
Dawson?
Reynoldsburg
Yeah,
game. He kept him in that
Yeah,
yeah,
Reynoldsburg game for
he
sure.
plays productive minutes every single time. So they got a lot of different elements on that squad. They can compete with anybody.
yeah.
They got to take care of that rock, man, if they want to move
You
forward.
and if you key on Corey, you got Arnold that could shoot it.
Yeah,
I
no,
So
was just about to say that
you
too.
know what I'm saying? You got
he's
Arnold that can shoot it, and you don't really hear a lot of talk about him, but he plays solid minutes. The Chase Cat, number 10,
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he's
Chase Shoemate.
he's
Yeah,
he's solid,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
don't just listening when they played Dunbar because I'm pretty sure I sat on the Trotwood side. I don't. They basically like if he get his confidence together, he could really be a key piece to that team. Um,
yeah,
but there's a lot of I'm not sure if it's him deferring or what it is, but it seemed like he got more that he could add to the team that he hasn't added yet. Just from
yeah.
listening to the Trotwood fans during that game.
I
So
think
you
Trotwood.
definitely right. They have a nice cohesive unit. It's just about taking care of the basketball and who needs to step up at different times of the game when need be. And Justice Taylor and Justice as well. I mean,
Yeah,
he plays good. Well, he's good around the ball, hits the boards, and can create mismatches as well, depending on who you got guarding.
I agree. I do think. I think Trotwood is very well rounded. I feel like Trotwood is very. Um, I think they're battle tested by them playing Lima Senior, Princeton, then turn back around
Back to
and
back
play.
though.
Yes, and then turn around and go play a Reynoldsburg. Then you play then you play Oakwood. You know the wrap up the season. Them are tough games to be able to play at. That's why I feel like Trotwood is going to be fine. They are very well rounded. Not only that, they got Davion. If Davion is hitting at least 3 to 4 threes, Corey hitting about 4 threes. That's 8 threes already. Somebody else gonna hit 1 or 2. So you telling me this Trotwood team can be able to hit at least 10 threes a game? That's dangerous. That's dangerous in itself. Not only that, right? You got you got Darius hitting the boards. You got Justice hitting the boards. You got Big Juice coming off the bench and giving you valuable minutes as well. You got, like I said, and then you got Chase Shoemate coming off the bench giving you valuable minutes. And you got Dawson coming off the bench giving you valuable minutes. So it's guys that's willing to be able to buy in and willing to be able to do their job. I really think Troutwood can be able to make a run because I really feel like they're battle tested from their whole schedule that they just played. Like I said, it could have been a couple games that if Darius stays on the floor, like Saint X, if he stays on the floor, that Saint X game might be a little bit different. If Darius stays on the floor against who else they done lost to? They done lost to Reynoldsburg. If Darius can be able to stay on the floor against them, I think it'll be a way different ball game. You know, like I said, I don't think Lima Senior is 30 points better than them, but everything was just falling for them that night. And also I don't think Princeton is 20 points better than them, but all in all, I think Trotwood is fine. I think they're going to make a run. I really think that they're probably one of the more well-rounded teams around here, and I really feel like they got a chance to be able to make a state championship run.
I agree with everything you just said. And I
For
and I
sure.
felt that way from the first time I watched them play, which was against Alter, who's another
Yeah.
solid team. And the way
Yes.
Hmm.
they handled Alter, I told Smiz, I'm like, yo, Trotwood is they
No,
might
that my first time seeing Trotwood was versus Dunbar, and granted, around the time that you were talking about Trotwood, like you said, huh? They were hot. Now, granted, I'm not taking nothing away from them, but versus Dunbar was kind of late in the season. I want to say they might have had a few questionable losses, um, but I definitely was impressed with Trotwood. And granted, the key to Trotwood, like we've been saying, is Dennis has to stay on that court. Dennis
Yes.
has to be on that floor. I will say that him not being on that floor, you see the difference fast. You see the
Yeah.
difference real fast.
Yeah.
shout out to Dennis's pops, man. He was trying to let me know.
No, for sure. But he said the same thing though. He said he
Yeah,
wasn't on the floor.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's a fact.
So
Man, hey, one thing about his dad, he gonna let you know. That's one thing he gonna do. He gonna let you know. Hey, man,
no,
hey,
there been a few dads that done
Hey,
hit the page. Shout out to
he's
Big
a
Coffee too, man. Big Coffee,
yeah,
he tapped in a few times as well too.
okay, okay,
For sure.
for sure.
okay. Hey, I'm about to say, speaking on that, they also got a big win against Northmont.
Okay, I did see that they played, and granted, man, I feel like Coffee got to get away from Lebanon, man.
Woo!
Cause when his dad reached out to us, I hit the schedule, so I'm like, you know what I'm saying, all right, pump, let's look, and it's like the record wasn't really good, and then I really wasn't seeing no games to be like, you know, let's go check him out. It was more so going to check him out. And I kind of feel like, and I ain't saying he got to go prep or nothing, but I just feel like him getting away from Lebanon would probably be able to put more eyes on him, because I'm going to be all the way real with you, Render. I wasn't really you know what I'm saying, press to go see Lebanon. You know what I'm saying? Now granted I'm going to see a player, but I want to see some good team basketball. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a good team, good team ball. I don't really want to just go see a player for real.
I don't think, and this is just, I love my dog Coffee, man. I love my guy. I love him to death, man. But ain't nobody really going to see Lebanon, man. Hey, I love him to
I
death.
mean,
Ain't nobody really
I'm
gonna go
keeping it
check it out.
real. Like
Yeah,
I'm
ain't
trying to
nobody
go
really gonna
see
go check out
I'm trying to
that.
go see some bangers, man. I'm
Yeah,
trying to report back to the people who really ain't tapped in. That's tapped into us. I
now,
want to give them something to go see. You know what I'm
now,
saying?
now,
So
now I'll go watch them just to go watch, Jay Sean
coffee,
Coffee.
yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
what.
go watch him for sure. Like he's definitely a PT peer, man. He's definitely a primetime player for sure. But I think I think like you just said, he's in the wrong school, man. He's just in the wrong school right now. And I think once he be able to get into a bigger school, I think you're gonna see a lot. I think you're gonna see a lot of more exposure, and you'll see a lot of more spotlight on Coffee just because he's at a bigger school, bigger conference, you know. And I really think like I think he's one of those in 28. I think he's one of those in as a sophomore.
Talent. You can't deny the talent for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, I
nah,
haven't seen him. I've only seen him play at the y'all's United through Hoops League.
yeah,
That's when I got introduced to him. But
yeah.
then like where he goes, like Lebanon, my first thought was the 7 foot cat. I'm like, oh, him
Anthony
and
Thompson,
Dunn.
yeah,
And they
yeah,
like, no, he left. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, okay, all right.
yeah. If he if he
That's a different story.
if he don't leave,
Oh,
if he don't leave, we're having a different conversation.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, we're having a
For
different
sure. He's a
conversation.
McDonald's All American too, as well. So
Yes, yes,
shouts out
yes.
to what is Thompson? I don't know his first name, but
And
uh
Thompson, Anthony
yeah.
Thompson.
Shout out to Ant Thompson. Um this is uh from what we were hearing, this could be a potential state championship game that we witnessed yesterday. Me and my guy had the pleasure of seeing Westerville North versus Lima Senior, and man, Hump, I'll let you lead this one, man. I'm excited to talk about this one, but I'm gonna
No,
let you go ahead and let you set this one off, bro.
no, for sure, for sure. So what's crazy is that was the first time that I've been in Lima since I want to say 2003. And for people that don't really know much about the school before the new school, going to play in Lima is a totally different atmosphere for one. Lima is a very blue collar, very kind of gritty, rough town. And, back in the day before they got this new gym, you going in there's metal detectors, there's bars everywhere. It's a school in a neighborhood. So the bus had to park alongside another set of houses. It was a totally different atmosphere. But I want to give a shout out to Lima because the new school is fantastic. The community of Lima, how they had a couple like a senior night, then they had a lady from the class of 56 come out. I was so impressed with Lima, just period overall. Before we even get to the game, I just got to shout those guys out, man. They doing great things out there. All right, now look into the basketball. Westerville North is I have not seen a team this year that has a backcourt of two guys that are probably 5'8" on a good day. This is 2026. The point guards are 6'3". You know what I mean? The best guards are 6'3", 6'4". It was a little bit of a throwback seeing these two guys. Then they got a 6'6" swing man who is kind of like he'll shoot the three, he'll get to the bucket, he's a shot blocker. They got a X factor guy. He kind of just does a little bit of everything. What was my man number 10?
Hmm.
My man
Might
number
be a football cat. I ain't sure, but he definitely got the football build.
He a football guy. He a football guy.
Huff said that in warm-ups. He said he got to play football. I know he
Yeah, he
is.
a football guy.
He ain't no basketball player, but
Yeah, he got some max school. I think he got a couple max schools, but he a football guy for sure.
he looks like a D1 football guy because,
Yeah.
he's not really much of a basketball player, but this is why I say Westerville North is such an interesting team because they have an element for anything you want as a basketball team. You want a bona fide, pure, poised, no turning the ball over point guard. What's my man's name? Perkins?
Tyson Perkins.
Woo-hoo.
Tyson, listen,
man.
pressure bust pipes, please.
Hey, he feels nothing.
He don't know what pressure is.
Oh, he feels nothing. I mean,
He don't know what pressure is. He don't know. I was highly impressed with this guy. Highly impressed.
I would say I was just as impressed with him as I've been with Tyson from Lakota this year, as I've been with Trey Sams from Tri Village, as I've been with Kari, as I've been with my man William Pegg. You know what I mean? He's up there with those guys, bro. Like he's just an all-around impressive player. And they just got everything. They got the dynamite point guard. They got the shooter. And then this guy is automatic. His confidence to shoot the ball. What's my man's name?
Elijah McCray.
Boy, and it's crazy. Lima did the scouting report because they was following him everywhere. They just knew, like, boy, do not leave this man. It's about to be over with. As soon as you leave him, it's 3 automatic going the other way. My X Factor man, my football guy, dirty, gritty, had damn near 4 fouls in the first half. Getting rough and tough in the paint, hustle boards, you know what I'm saying, can hit the free throws. And then they got
Tony Cornette.
Tony Cornette. Like I'm like that 5 is a unique 5, bro. And I can see why they won it last year. And I can honestly see why they might win it this year. Now, I will say this about Lima because I want to leave the floor open for you guys a little bit, is Lima was without arguably their best player, who also is one of the best point guards, probably one of the best point guards in the nation. And my man, what's my man's name?
Sean Foster.
Sean Foster. You know what I mean? So to not have one of the best point guards in the nation not play, only lose by what, 3?
3.
That begs the argument of could they possibly beat Westerville North if they matched up again? You know what I mean? But it's just something about Westerville North with that team that they got, the coaching that they have. Shout out to the coach from Lima as well, Coach Simpson, man. These guys are just, it makes me understand coaching watching these great teams play. Smith,
for sure.
That point off the air when you talk about when you see good coaching at the high school level, it stands out amongst anybody that may be a terrible coach or an average coach. It's light years ahead of the game.
So no, for sure.
I'll just leave it with this because I like I said, I want to hear you guys' opinion. That was a great game from start to finish. Both of them haymakers, jabs, taking punches, back and forth the whole night. It's just something about this Westerville North team because I have to put everything back on Tyson Perkins. I think he's not going to be the guy that you're going to talk about. You're going to hear more about my man Josh Tyson. You're going to hear more about Sean Foster. You're going to hear more about Ziegler. You're going to hear more about my man from what's my guy from up Cleveland as well, the other point guard, lefty.
Marcus
Johnson. You're going to hear about him. You're not going to hear about Perkins. But I'm telling you that Perkins is just as good as any point guard in the entire state. And if you told me that I had to choose between all those and you was like, hey, you get Perkins, I'm like, let's go.
No, for sure.
That's my
no, for sure.
Run it. That's how good he is.
We've been hearing a lot about Westerville North. I want to say me and you were supposed to go to the them versus St. Iggy. I don't know why we didn't make it down there, but they went on a 33-8 run versus St. Iggy and ended up beating them by like 20 or 30.
Man, I just want to say something for the record. Fam, you're not just blowing St. Iggy out.
No, for sure.
That's
for sure.
Not nobody in the state just blowing them. They are legit. So the fact that Westerville did that, that's scary.
So we kind of was up on him after that. But finally being able to put eyes on him, like you said, man, really impressed with Tyson Perkins, man. From the tip to the end of the game, he was the man. Like he controlled the game. He had the ball in his hands. Vocal leader, telling guys where they needed to be, telling guys what they should have been doing. Um, very, very, very impressed with him. Now the Elijah McCray, he only had 13. He had 9 in the first half, but like you said, huh? When he got that ball, he was putting it up. It was just unconscious. He didn't even think about it. So I know on a good night, it could really get scary.
Yeah,
It
I
could
agree.
it could really get scary with
He
him
can hit 10 threes in a
if
game.
the ball going to hold for him. Um, Cornette started off kind of slow. I mean, you kind of could see flashes,
Mhm.
but that second half, I don't know if he
He's a
finally got his
couple of
feet
coaches.
under him,
Yeah,
but he ended up doing his thing. I want to say he ended up finishing with
like
16,
16.
17. I
Yeah.
want to
He had
say
he had 18.
So
18.
yes, I want to say this real quick about him, man, because you're right, Smiz. He didn't. At first, I think we were very underwhelmed at his first half because we heard about this guy, but the second half, size makes a difference, bro. When you got a kid that's 6'6", 6'7", mobile, long arms, he not only started to get a lot of easy layups, but he was defending the rim, he was blocking, he was rebounding. That began to make the difference, especially when Lima took out number 24, the sophomore, which we could get into. I'm very interested to hear coach's opinion on that too, why he kept getting taken out. But when they take him off the floor, that guy who's a swing man, Cornette, is now the big of the floor. There's nobody that's big enough to really contain him. You know what I mean? So again, it just kind of goes back to Westerville having a lot going on. Again, Willie Foster didn't play, or excuse me, Sean Foster didn't play. So we don't know. Lima still could be the number one, but Westerville could be.
No. Now for Lima, Um, I want to say the Simpsons coach's son, he didn't have the typical game that I've been seeing him have lately. They told us that we sat on the Lima side. They told us since Sean's been out, I think they said he been out maybe 2 weeks.
Weeks, yeah.
They said he hasn't scored underneath 20 cents. So that was his first game not having 20. Um I don't know. Simpson kind of you seen flashes, but then there were times to where it was like, okay, I see why they need Sean. They had a scrappy guard, number 12, short, another short guy,
Yeah.
but he's scrappy. He played defense, hustle points. Um, now the big, not 24, but they had number 15. He was scrappy down low. Had nice boards, few
He's an athlete.
putbacks.
Yeah.
Um, there was a guard, number 1, for Lima.
He
Amari
Nice
Adams.
shot, nice jumper. Um,
yeah, Amari
Shouts
Adams.
out to Coach Q because that offense they was running. There was a few times coming out of timeouts, coming out of quarters, and these plays he drawing up render. These cats is wide
Yeah.
open looks. I mean, these was perfect plays, man. But there was times where number 1 got the rock, and it was kind of like stall ball, like the offense just stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were moving the
Yeah.
ball and it got to him and it kind of just stopped. And granted, I kind of want to take this back to where that might have been where all right, we need this is where Sean Foster, you know what I'm saying? This is the Sean Foster effect right here. Because
Yeah.
9 times out of 10,
He's
he's
gonna
not
be
injured. I'm pretty sure he has the ball in his hands at these
100%.
times.
Yes.
So it would be interesting to see this matchup again with Sean, but you only lose by 3 without him. So this game is still winnable without Sean. Another thing I questioned was the play of the 24. Now there were times to where I felt he should have been in the game because North was on the boards. And I would he wasn't in foul trouble, and I don't really see it being a speed thing because granted, 10 was in for North, and 10 ain't the fastest player out there. So if anything I would want to kind of like question, I want to say would be uh 24 not being in the game at certain times.
His
You know what
name
I'm
is
saying?
Elon. His name is Elon Stearns, by the way.
Number 24?
Yeah, big man.
Yeah.
Elon
Big
Stearns.
guy. Caught a oop. Willie played good. I want to say he caught an elbow early. Had a nice little cut over his eye. Played the game with a cut over his eye. Um, there was a time they went down like 12, and they came back and made a nice little run to get back in that game. But rebounds, Cornette kind of had a few boards, put back, maybe an and one or two. And again, Perkins, man, he just all the pressure that they was putting on him, he didn't fold, he didn't bend. Like he stepped up to the plate every single time they needed him. Hit some big free throws. It's crazy because during this run, Perkins lays it up. Perkins gives Lima Senior a bucket, and I want to say they was either down like 6 at the time. So Perkins give Lima Senior a free bucket,
Yeah.
and then comes down and hit 4 key free throws right after. So it was kind of like
Funny.
it was weird. It was funny, but this Westerville North team and Cornette's dad is popping it at the end of the game. He like everything comes through us, and
Talk.
I gotta agree with him because North to go up to Lima and to snatch a win. Granted, again, you don't they don't have one of their best players, but hey, you gotta play the game. You still gotta play the game, and they took that game. They took that game for Lima, and I really want to see this. I want to see this game again with Sean. I want to see them play again with Sean, man. I have to see it.
Coach.
Um, man, that's crazy. I honestly think Tyson Perkins is probably one of the top guards, probably in 2027 as well. I think he's probably the same way how I was talking about Chris Washington down at Aiken at one point in time. Like he's probably one of the more underrated point guards in the state, and he doesn't get a lot of love.
He's six
But
foot. He's 6 foot. He's out of here.
yeah, easily because he's very explosive, high basketball IQ, and can be able to hit and can be able to hit shots. And I'm talking about big shots. Like he hit big shots at Lima. He hit real big shots at Lima, and I think that team goes as much as him and and Tony Cornette, because for a fact that Elijah gonna give you what he gonna hit shots, but it also comes down to basketball IQ. It also comes down to if we can be able to control the boards. It comes down to that. Tony Cornette is a kid that you know if he has a great summer, he's gonna be a power forward kid, and I'm gonna tell you why. Tony does a lot of things that a lot of other guards don't do, and he rebounds the basketball.
Sure.
A lot of guards don't rebound the basketball as at a high rate as he does. That's why I say he can be a power forward kid. Not only that, Tony can be able to put you into space because he's 6'6", right? And normally when you see 6'6" guys in high school, you consider them as a big. When Tony was little, Tony was considered as a guard.
For sure. You could tell.
Like he's a guard. So it's like
What
you tell
grade? What grade is he?
he's a junior.
Junior.
Okay.
He's a
He has a
junior.
younger brother as well. That's
He
probably
has
what,
a
a
younger
freshman.
brother that's a freshman
He looked
that's
Okay.
nice.
And
going to
he
be
and he
as
was
good as him.
he played well, JV. He played well,
Yes,
JV. He played
Tyson.
well, JV.
Tyson is going to play next year. Tyson is going to play a lot next year, just off of his like what he does on the ball and off the ball. You know, and he's another kid that he might end up being a power forward kid as well because he rebounds the basketball. He has a high basketball IQ, and he can be able to finish around the rim. Like that's a lot of that's a
Matchup.
lot of it's a problem. But I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this. I said this the start of the year. I said Westerville North should have started number one in the state coming into D2. There's no way that a state championship team should have started number five. Don't make sense, right? Don't make sense, right? They shouldn't have started number five. That don't make no sense,
Two at the
right?
lowest. Two at the
Exactly.
lowest.
Right.
Exactly. But they have an argument to say they have an argument that they could have been undefeated because their one loss only comes to Lutheran East. That's
Right.
their one loss
By
Right.
two.
by 2 points. And realistically, they had the game in control the whole entire game. They had the game in control. So you're talking about a team that just came off of a state run, and not only that, they like I said, they're 2 points away from being undefeated. And now we're talking about them coming into Lima, the Bean.
Yeah,
They're
for
coming
sure.
into the Bean
Yeah, for sure.
and beating a very good Lima senior team.
Most definitely.
This might be the most. It's probably a bold statement or anything like that. I got Westerville North winning it all.
Right.
I don't think it's bold. I don't think it's a bold statement at all. I mean, when I leaving that gym, Render, I felt like you, bruh. I
We both
me and Hump, I was like, man, I can't wait to talk about this game on the pod because you hear about teams, you hear about the Lakota West, and then you see them versus Princeton. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We've been hearing about Westerville North. Hump like, hey man, Westerville North is trending, and then we like, all right, we're gonna go see them versus St. Iggy. We didn't make it, but then we get on 270, and they done beat them by 20. We like,
yeah,
oh, wait a minute.
and it
So
was very, and it
once
was
we heard
very,
about this game, I said, hey bro, we gotta be there. Westerville plays Lima to win. Oh, we gotta get there. We gotta
yeah,
get there.
it was very,
And then Lima plays Princeton next Saturday, this coming Saturday. So it's like
right,
Well,
because
Lima
that's
ain't
Saint.
dunking no smoke, man.
Now they
Lima
not,
ain't dunk no smoke all year.
and that's what I love about Coach Q. Right, Coach Q gonna put anybody and everybody on that schedule of who is who's the guys, who's the best teams. They're gonna put you on that schedule. They're gonna put you on that schedule. Either they'll come down to you or you gonna come up to the bean. They don't care about none of that.
And
Cause
let
I
me add this, man, not to cut you off. I'm now that the season's over and we got to see a lot of these top-notch programs. This coaching, I've seen coaching is one of the biggest things that separates these teams,
oh,
man.
for
Coaching
sure.
separates a Lakota West, Princeton, Lima Senior, a Westerville North from a Wayne, from a Springfield. Like that's the biggest thing I'm seeing with programs and players is these coaches, man. I understand why these schools are winning programs. I understand why these schools have winning traditions. I understand why these schools go deep in these playoff runs. It starts with the coaching. I can tell that these teams, these players will run through a brick wall for these coaches.
mm-hmm.
And if your players aren't willing to do that, you're not going to win,
Yep.
or you're going to win, but it's going to stop. You're not
Yep.
going. You're not making these deep tournament wins. You're not
Yep.
making these deep tournament runs because there's a disconnect between the players and these coaches. And with these programs that we've talking about, ain't no disconnect. Ain't no disconnect. These players, these coaches is holding player 1 to player 15 accountable.
For
Yep.
sure.
Ain't nobody going underneath the radar when it comes to accountability. The best player is being accountable, just like the least best player is being accountable, and that's the difference between these programs is the coaching.
Sure. Coach Ren, I got a question for you, bro, because me and Smitty was talking about this quite heavily. You know, we noticed that Lima Senior kept 24 off the floor a lot in the second half. And, when he was in the game, he's blocking shots, he's rebounding, he's catching oops, he's running the floor. And I say this with a lot of humility because I have so much respect for Coach Simpson that it's like I don't even want to question this guy, right? But
Yeah.
just from your standpoint, why do you take a big out like that can play the way he could play? What did you see from that?
Um, it could be. I remember y'all was saying the big number 10
Mm-hmm.
from Westerville North.
Mm-hmm.
I remember y'all saying he had like 4 fouls,
Mm-hmm.
so he might have had got subbed out. And I don't know if you can be able to trust Elon Stearns checking Tony Cornette, especially in space. So it might have could have been a matchup thing. It
Interesting.
might have could have been a matchup thing to the point, you know. And like I said, Elon is a sophomore right now, and I think Coach Q has built up trust in him. But when it be like big games like this, it's kind of like do I really trust him in space against Tony Cornette? Do I really trust that? Like, that's what it really comes down. And that's how you really think as a coach, right? I got to make sure I put my team in the best position to be able to win. He made a thought that, sitting Elon for that long period of time, that might have been the right thing to do. Now, if they end up winning that game, now we're talking a different story, right?
Clearly. Right.
Right, exactly. Like, all right, Coach Q made a great adjustment of
Mm-hmm.
sitting Elon, and running. It probably went small.
Right. He
Probably
did.
ended up going small, and then you know he probably try to turn Tyson Perkins over, because I'm pretty sure, because that's how Lima plays. They play very up tempo defense.
Mm-hmm.
They want to turn you over and try to be able to score. Go from defense to offense. So I think Coach Q probably tried to play fast, and because I know they was down almost the whole game. So I do think that Coach Q was probably trying to speed the game up. He wanted to go
Mm-hmm.
small. He wanted to go double. Probably was running the 2-2-1, and trying to turn him over. So that might have been one thing. It might have been another thing of matchups. You know, it might have been that. So like I said, it just depends. Like, we'll be having a different conversation if they win. So
Right. 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 Right.
that's why I say, like, like I said, this is all probably a setup, because they probably gonna end up meeting again.
No, this is definitely going to happen again. And like to your point, man, when he's taking the big guy out, me and Smith, we're figuring that it's the speed, the small ball, right? What you, I like him when he's in the game, but when he's out the game, there's different capabilities that Lima may have that they can't do with him in the game, and I understand that. I think this game, as we've all said, is the preview to the state finals. I think it just comes down to Sean Foster. He's going to be back. He's going to be healthy. What's going to be the difference? Because we saw Westerville North. We saw what they bring to the table. They're as good as it gets. But Sean, it's a lot of weight is on your shoulders, bro. You're a junior. I know you got other seniors on there, and this isn't taking anything away from Willie, because Willie's low key unguardable. Like I haven't really seen too many guys be able to stay in front of him and stop him from getting buckets. Like he's
Shifty as hell.
50, super duper athletic. It's like scary. Um, but it's really going to come down to Sean when they match up again, because he was the missing link. They only lose by 3. You know what I mean? So you take out Sean, you put Sean back into the equation. What does it look like? Now, this is another thing that's interesting. To my knowledge, Lima Senior has won no state championship. This is interesting. You think about the last 30, 40 years of Lima guards. You're talking about some of the best guards that we have ever seen.
Yeah.
You know, all the way back to the 80s. I mean, these guys are impressive stud NBA players, Big Ten tournament players. You know what I'm saying? Like stud muffins. You know what I mean? Lima has never won a state championship. If they are going to win the state, this to me has to be the year.
Agree.
If they're going to do it. And what's sad is that they got to run through Westerville to get it. Oh, damn.
Damn,
Woo,
TC.
that's a tough task right there, man. That's a
Damn.
tough task.
TC crazy, man, for that comment, man. He crazy for that comment.
I mean, hey, Render, can you blame him? You
Can't
all
blame him though. I
you,
can't.
you,
I can't
you
blame.
won it last year.
That's the thing. I know TC, and when he
Walk in your
said
trap,
that,
take over your trap, Render. Let's talk about it. Let's
and
talk
that's the
about it.
thing. And that's the
Let's
thing,
talk
right?
about it.
And that's the thing, right? When you got a kid that's high level like that, and TC, my guy, I love TC. That's my guy. But when you got a high level kid like that that's showing up, he gonna talk his talk. Oh man, I knew that was coming, man. And you gotta love that. But hey, right now it runs through Westerville North. It runs through the 614.
Right.
Like that's just what it is. And
Right.
you just gotta just stamp that. Like, hey, until somebody puts Westonville North out, I got them winning the state championship again.
To
That's my
piggyback off
that's my
what you
pick for
said,
D2.
Render, I just got to give a shout out to Central Ohio sports, period, because these last few years, football,
Yeah,
basketball,
yeah,
they've been letting Ohio know, hey, y'all. I know y'all love talking about Northern Ohio. I know y'all love Southwest District, but we here too. We
Oh,
here
no.
yeah,
too. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So
We run it.
I mean, it kind of got us going into our next topic. Is it's tourney time, man. It's tourney
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Brackets just went out today. Um, what's a few of the teams D1 and D2 that we want to keep an eye on? Is there any matchups that we see? Is there any early upsets we can predict? Is there any sleeper teams we want to talk about? I know we talked a little bit about the Wayne and the Springboro matchup. Off camera, we talked about Lime a few paths, Westerville North's path, Lima's path, Lakota West's path. But we could dive into the tournament now that all the seeds and the matchups is out there.
Well, I want to say we talked about it a little bit off air, and I think Coach was making some really good points. Wayne versus Springboro is an interesting game.
yes,
We all know Wayne is on a 5-game winning streak. Wayne has had, for all intents and purposes, have had a great season. They've only lost 4 games. They went 17-4, and they play some rough guys. The guys that beat Wayne are pretty rough. So for them to play Springboro, who's super tall, it's playoff time. They run a wicked 1-3-1. A lot of those bad habits that we saw with Wayne this year, being kind of selfish basketball, not playing the Wayne type of way that's going to make them successful, which is the ball is moving and one guy may have 15, another guy may have 12, another guy may have 11. Hey, they can have a short playoff run. They don't get it together versus Springboro, man. This is giving me upset vibes.
At one point, Wayne had 4 guys that average 7 as well as 3 or 4 starters that was in double figures. So that's a well balanced attack. And I want to say at one point they were averaging 70 to when they dropped down and start having averaging almost barely 50. Now, granted, during this 5 game win streak that you're talking about, they done got that average back up to the 60s and 70s.
They're playing their
They're
way.
they're
Right.
starting to pass the ball a lot more, still a little bit selfish, but they're starting to get back to that team that went on that 9 game win streak at the beginning of the year when our eyes was wide open. Like, hey, this Wayne team might be able to surprise somebody. If they play that type of ball, that unselfishness, everybody scoring, you getting up there than that 60, 70 point average, is scary. But if you go to that Wayne team that's selfish, averaging that 40 to 50 points, seniors might as well go ahead and get ready to figure out what they're going to do for the summer, man. Get ready for prom.
Hey,
Get
get
ready
ready
for
for
prom. It's
inventory.
prom time.
I'll tell you what about the Southwest district, the Southwest 4 district, which Wayne is in. They have a very strong chance to win the entire district if they're on their game. But if not, there is a Moeller that's showing some flashes of like, hey, you don't want it, we'll take it. We win over here. We don't mind winning. We go deep playoffs. We win states. It don't matter. We y'all don't want it. We'll take it. We win over here.
I really think Wayne got to worry about Springboro first before they get the districts. Wayne has to really figure out this 1-3-1 and not let it be effective as it was, the 2 games that they played. Because if they can be able to figure that out, then I can see them winning this game pretty heavily. But the problem is that can they feed it to the guys who can be able to put the ball in the bucket? That's going to be the key. Can they be able to get to the guys who can be able to put the ball in the bucket? So if they can be able to do that, I think Wayne will be fine.
KP
Now,
can't have 0 points.
hey, yeah,
KP has to have KP
So
has to have double digit points.
to,
I
to
He
be
agree.
there's no way that they'll be able to do any of this with KP scoring 0, 2, 6. He has to be 12 to 15 minimum.
that's
I
what I was
agree.
going to say. I was just going to add to that, Coach, because your first point is prime. We got to get the ball to the scores, but to Smitty's point, the scores have to score.
I agree. I agree. And not only that, right? This is where it comes to your point now, Smitty, the unselfishness. So that means that the ball has to move. Instead of putting the ball on the floor, the ball has to move. In order for you to be able to move that zone, you have to be able to move the ball. We all know that the ball moves faster than the man. So if you can be able to move the basketball at a high rate, like I said, set some screens. I'm pretty sure Coach Nate he got some zone plays that he's gonna run for the 1-3-1. But if that ball moves at a rapid rate, I think they can be able to find holes in that 1-3-1 that they can be able to score. I don't think Springboro is the best as far as like, a 1-3-1 scrappy offense, but I think they disturb you with their length. I think they disturb you with their length. Now, do I think they're physical? No. And that's why I think Wayne can be able to out physical Springboro into a win. But I will not be surprised if this is a game again and it's going to come down to possessions in the half court. I will not be surprised at that. This is where you have to be able to value possessions. You have to be able to value possessions at a rapid rate in the tournament. You have to. So I think whoever can be able to make the big adjustment and could be able to value the most of their possessions is gonna win. It's gonna be able to see, and I think they're probably gonna end up seeing more because I think they play Cole Rain, somebody like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like Cole Rain about to have inventory after that game. So you'll probably end up seeing Moeller probably in the districts, and Moeller has lost to Centerville. That's my biggest thing. Moeller has lost to Centerville. So if they play Wayne, I'm not I'm not I'm actually feeling good if I'm Wayne. I'm feeling good if I'm Wayne because I can be able to compete with Moeller. But I think they have to speed the game up against Moeller a little bit. And they have to play physical.
To me, Wayne plays his best when it turns defense into offense. When Wayne is making people turn the ball over, they're getting the ball up the court, they're getting transition layups, they're getting transition threes. That's when Wayne is at his best.
Yes.
Once they stop and they're dribbling the ball up, they want to hold it for the last shot. They want to. That's when you run into the problems where you had the turnovers, where you have the forced shots, where that's when Wayne runs into their most problems when they slow that ball up, trying to play that half court, too much dribbling, forced shots. Um, that's not the type of game they need to play. So, like you said, they definitely got to speed the game up for sure.
Well, let me say this. I want to say this, right? I don't mind them slowing the game down at points and times, but you gotta have something that you can be able to run that's going to be effective, if that makes sense, especially in the half court. Like it can't just be like how you just said. It can't just be, I'm just dribbling 5, 6 times in one spot, or I'm trying to do a cone drill in one spot. The ball needs to be moving at a rapid rate. The ball, setting screens is going to be vital for Wayne to be successful as well. I really think that if you can be able to run successful plays in the half court, I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with you slowing the ball down, especially if we talking about time and possession. Like we can be able to score on the ATOs and all that. If you can be able to do that and be effective and score at a rapid rate doing that, I'm totally fine with that. But if you just can't score in a half court, you have to be able to find other ways to be able to score, and that's just being real. But I do think that them playing fast is definitely one of their better attributes for this year's team.
No, for sure.
Can't hear you, huh?
My bad, I muted. I was just going to say that you can still play with speed in the half court. It's just the ball can't stick.
Yes,
If they can avoid that one problem, right? This one problem that they have is probably going to open their game up 20-30%, is if they don't let the ball stick around. Guys pounding the rock a little too much, or the ball sitting because you waiting for your shot versus keeping it moving. If they can keep the rock moving, then man, Wayne can be dangerous. They could have a dangerous run.
I agree.
But they got a
No, for
bad
sure.
habit of getting that ball, and that joint ain't moving no more. And you can see it. There's been so many times I've seen Wayne this year where the motion was fire, motion, boom, 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 they moving around. Then the ball gets to a certain player, a certain person that just doesn't want to move the ball. Everything slows down. And sometimes that player will get buckets. Sometimes I've seen Wayne have good individual games, and guys can put up some 20s, some 30s. But that's not really Wayne's game. If they put up 30, it's got to be through the motion of the offense, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, I agree.
Um, Looking at Centerville's path, um, again, I feel like Centerville, until they get to a certain game, I don't see them losing no district. I feel like they could definitely make it out the district. I feel like they'll probably be their worst enemy up into district. Like I don't see them losing that district at all.
Me either.
Centerville should
Right.
definitely should go make it through there. Looking at Lakota West path, I feel the same way. they'll get the winner of Springfield or Kettering. I don't feel like that'd be a problem for them. Um, let's see what we got. Now I'm looking at Princeton's path. Um, they will get the winner of Hamilton and Elder.
Hold on real quick, Smiz. Hold on real quick. Rewind. Who you got coming out of Region 4?
Region Southwest 4.
Yeah.
That should be. I mean, that should be Wayne. I
So
mean,
you got, if you look at it like this, you got that whole region, right? So Region 4 consists of Southwest 4, which is Wayne. Then it consists of
Southwest
Southwest 3,
3.
which
That's
is
Princeton.
Elder and Princeton. Princeton's
Yeah.
in there.
Yep.
So then you go to Southwest 1, you got your Oak Hills, you got Mason in there. And then
You know
Southwest
how I feel
2.
about Mason. But if I have to choose out of these teams right
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
I would go with Mason.
Okay, so
I
this is
would,
what
but there's an Oak Hill there, which y'all said, like Coach said, is a team you have to look out for.
Yeah.
so I'll look at it like this, because this is interesting. You're right. Pound for pound, the best team in the Region 4 district.
And I got Saint X coming out of that Southwest too.
In my opinion, I'm talking about from Southwest 1 to Southwest 4, which is the entire Region 4 district. This is everybody playing at Xavier. Princeton, pound for pound, is the best team there, even though they lost to Oak Hill, who's also in that same region, right? Princeton should come out of that region unless something crazy happens.
For sure.
I believe Wayne is in there too. They're going to make a run. St. X is in there. They'll probably make a little noise. But there really isn't a reason Princeton shouldn't come out that region.
No, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that for sure.
So y'all saying Region 4, you think Princeton is gonna come out of that? Because I got in Region 4, I got Princeton and St. X in the regional finals. I got them playing in the regional finals to go to the state. And that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup because St. X has been very inconsistent this year.
Mm-hmm.
They had some bad losses and they had some good
They got a
losses. I
couple
mean,
of
they had
wins
some
though.
good wins.
Right, right.
But all in all, I really think St. X is probably the more scarier team because they have size. They have size. They
Big
don't want to
boys.
play. They don't want to play hot. They don't want to play high tempo because they feel like they can get you in the half court. They feel like they can hold the ball for about 2-3 minutes, and they're gonna make you fall asleep, and bam, you got a backdoor layup. You know, or I know St. X got some good shooters. They're big as well. When you got two guys that's 6'6" and 6'7" coming off the bench, you know your starters is definitely right around there. I know they got a big that's probably about 6'8". They got two wings that's about 6'5". Their point guard is like 6'1", 6'2". So once again, you got a big team that can be able to pound on the boards. That it's going to be hard to be able to beat a St. X if they can be able to get the ball off the rim and be able to get it to their shooters
So
and be able to hit the three.
I want to say this too, because this is why this region is an interesting region. There's like 3 or 4 sleeper teams. You name St. X, but Moeller, you would have to kind of put Moeller in there as a potential sleeper. If you really look at who they beat this year, they beat Alter, which we know is solid. Uh, they lost to Centerville by 12. And this is kind of what we're talking about. It's like, which Moeller team is going to show up tonight, right? Same thing with St. X, but they beat LaSalle. They beat St. X. I think they beat St. X both games this year.
Yeah,
Moeller did, right?
yeah,
Moeller won the conference, right?
yep. Mueller won a GCL. Yep.
And then you want to look at the schedule. They only lost one conference game, and they're 17-5 overall, ranked 21 in the state, according to Max Preps, who gets it wrong a lot, but they are official ranking status. But I'm just saying, like, when you guys talk about Region 4, the way you talk about St. X, you can almost talk about Moeller in the same breath,
Yeah,
right? They're
yeah,
very, very similar, you know. So again, we got a Wayne here that can make a crazy deep run. You got a Moeller that can make a crazy run. St. X is my sleeper, or not my sleeper. St. X is the team that I think is going to win no matter what. Or not St. X. Princeton is the number one in my opinion for the whole region. But they got beat by Oak Hill the other day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
It go
Yeah,
back to what Coach said at the beginning of the taping. Matchups, bro.
right.
Matchups. That's what the tournament comes down to. Matchups, style of play, and scouting reports. You gotta get them scouting reports right. But that definitely is an interesting part of the bracket. That's definitely a interesting part of the
I like
bracket.
that. I like that bracket a lot. I think there's a lot going on. What?
I'm. I think one of my sleeper teams. Um, I think I think Hamilton is one of my sleeper teams. Another one would be Oak Hills.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I say another one would be Springboro
Mm,
because their size.
right.
Or
Mm.
or Moeller. I think Moeller is
Same.
obviously Moeller is a sleeper team that can be able to get to the regional finals.
Do not sleep on Moeller, bro. They
Moeller
yeah.
Moeller can be able to have a chance to be able to beat Princeton.
I think so. I think Princeton has
You
shown.
think? But hold up. You
Let's
think
let's
Moeller
talk
can beat
about it.
Princeton?
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Moeller has size.
I
Moeller
agree.
can be able to match up with Princeton. Moeller, you got to think. Cam 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 Mercer is the tallest person on Princeton's team. Moeller
Oh,
has
okay.
Moeller has
Okay.
two guys that's like 6'7", 6'8", that can shoot the basketball.
For
Then
sure.
you got Jaden Davis, the freshman, that's like 6'3". Then you got Bubba, that's like 6'2", 6'3", playing the guard. You know what I'm saying? So I really, like I said, this is where the tournament comes down to size. Size, when you have size, you can be able to kind of do whatever you want. Especially down the boards, you can control the boards. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying? So I really think, and again, right? Possessions is going to matter, right? So I do think Princeton has an advantage, and I do think Moeller has an advantage as well. You know,
Yep.
because Princeton can be able to pick you up full court and turn you over, just like how Lima does. But I do also think they're going to hurt in the inside because they don't have the size of a Moeller or a St. X.
Well, I know they ain't gonna be able to go down 18-0 again. I'll tell you that.
No, you can't
Yeah.
do that in the
Well,
tournament.
I, guys, I don't want to rush out of Region 4, but the more and more I look at Region 3 is actually a little more interesting. I think we gave it credit. I'm gonna break this down real quick. For one, we already talked about Centerville, what they can do, but then you got Bradley.
I thought it was Davidson.
I think they're both in there. I think Bradley's in Central 5. And then you got, hold on, obviously Lakota West.
Dakota West and Southwest 6.
Who's in Southwest 5? That's Centerville. But I thought I saw another sleeper in here that I wasn't paying attention to. Okay, never mind. They're not in there. I thought I saw Newark in there. I was like, oh shit. Now that would have been interesting. So okay, so there is a good Hilliard in there though, right?
Newark is in Region 2.
Reasons.
Yeah,
They're yeah,
yeah,
they're
they stayed in Columbus with I think like
yeah.
Reynoldsburg and all them.
Yeah, they're so Reynoldsburg, I don't see I see Reynoldsburg getting I don't see them losing Central 4 at all. If anything it would be what would it be Newark versus Reynoldsburg.
Getting
I
out,
think that would
coming
be the
coming out the
matchup.
region. coming out the
Yep.
region.
And then you
Yeah,
got Hilliard Bradley would match up with.
I like
Ooh.
this region, Smiz.
This is two Olentangy's teams. You got
Yeah,
Olentangy Orange, and they win. They'll play Olentangy, which is the 3 seed. Olentangy Orange is the 5 seed. And granted, they won it last year. I'm not sure how many cats that they got coming back, but you can't deny the state champs.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll have some
They got
experience.
they got three or four,
So
and Reynoldsburg is ginormous.
no,
Six
for
six,
sure.
6'4", 6'3", 6'2". I mean, they're monstrous. Um, Real quick, I just want to go back to Region 3 just for a second. We don't have to stay here long. I don't want to make this long winded, but I think it's a factor that Lakota West has such, and I mean no disrespect by saying this, they have a easier. I'm not gonna call it easy. They have an easier path deep in the playoffs. Like, is that going to be a factor with a team with a district like District or Region 2 or a district like Region 4 where there's bangers in there and
yeah.
Lakota really just kind of like, hey, I got a nice path here. I'm gonna beat the dog, you know what, out of everybody that I play all the way up to Centerville.
Now, granted, Lakota just squeaked past Mason. They just beat Mason by 2. Um, Talking to somebody that's involved with Lakota West, Mason held the ball for 4 minutes out of halftime. Um,
Nasty work.
they held the ball for 4 minutes. They said so, and they said it was kind of a game that they didn't really get up for as they should. So that's interesting that you say that, Pump, because you go into one of these games like that and you potentially ruin your chances of going to state by
They're not
taking
going to do
somebody
that.
lightly.
I don't think they're
So
going to do that.
them
And the
tune-up
fact
games,
is,
being
yeah,
battle tested within that
right,
region
right.
kind of is,
They're going to be fine.
important. Now, granted, I don't feel like Lakota West is going to piss down their leg.
No, it's
Well, we hope they don't.
Midge, you talked about
But
it the whole
it's
episode.
interesting that you bring that up because you got to come to play every game now.
Because here's the thing, Smiz, you're right. But the one of the consensus topics of this episode, in my opinion, has been coaching. And Lakota's got my man Kelvin, who's top tier. So I just don't fear them having like a lapse. I mean, Mason's kind of like a weird team. They hold the ball. I mean, now you're talking about Fairmont football. Because I've held the ball, I've able to get myself in the game, or keep myself relevant in the game. I just don't see that happening. I see Lakota just kind of running through and getting to Centerville. And you know how Lakota is for big games. Smidge, what you could be talking about right now could be Lakota. They're up for the big games, but can you stay up for the Masons? Can you
Right.
stay up for if Springfield happens to slip through and play? They better stay up because EJ coming. So what I think Lakota will be fine.
And I feel like you got to think about it. They're a layup away from going to state anyway last year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The inbound play that's what separates them from going to state. And I feel like they're hungry for that. So I feel like they want to get back to that game. But like you said, you gotta play the small games. You gotta come to play the small games like you come to play the big games, especially around this time of the year. This is not a time of the year to look somebody because you could be getting ready for prom a little bit early.
Okay. So go back to Region 2. Who's coming out of Region 2? Because that looks a little. That look like I can get a little interesting.
I'm gonna go on a limb and give it to Newark, but I don't want to sleep on Darby or Reynoldsburg.
I'm telling you.
And if I want to just be,
Bradley's number one. You talking about Hilliard Bradley?
yeah, Bradley, and I mean, just to kind of spice it up a little bit, I'll go sleeper Olentangy Orange.
Liberty looks like they're pretty good this year too. They're a 3 seed. All right, so you're going Newark. You're going Newark out of Region 2, Smiz.
I'm gonna take Newark for sure.
Coach,
I'm gonna take Newark.
Coach, you coming out of Region 2.
Give me Bradley.
You're just gonna stay with Bradley.
Ooh,
Give me,
I'm
give me,
staying
give,
with
give me,
Bradley,
give me,
bro.
give
I'm
me, give me
sorry.
Bradley.
I don't know. I didn't see either one of these teams play, but Bradley beat Newark, obviously. And
by buzzer beater though. It was a
we
buzzer
were
beater.
supposed to go to that game too.
Yeah,
So
it was a
you're
buzzer
right. It
beater.
could go either way. I don't know. I'm just going to take a wild guess and go Bradley. But Newark has been the talk of the state from day one.
Yeah, yeah.
You
I
can't
think,
sleep
I
on
think,
them.
I think it's gonna be. I really think whoever comes out of Region 2 is gonna see Lakota West in the state finals.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick because you
Region
look
2.
at you look at Region 1. It's the act.
I don't think nobody, and I hope, I really hope nobody don't.
Mm,
I really don't think that nobody in the Northwest can come down and give anybody in the Southwest or the Central
Hold on
any
now,
problems.
cause
Any
you got
problems.
Iggy, you
listen,
got Iggy.
I'm not a fan.
hey,
Not
listen.
gonna lie to you. I am not a fan of St. Ignatius. I'm not a
Why?
fan.
Nah.
I'm not a fan. When you just came down and lost to the D2 state champs by almost 30, I don't have too much. I can't see them beating um a Newark or a Hilliard Bradley or even a Reynoldsburg. I don't think they can even do that.
I'm gonna say this though, because I'm feeling what you about to say, Smiz, because I hear what Coach saying. I respect what he's saying for sure. See, this is the thing that's weird about this Region 1. St. Iggy has lost. They are just like what we were talking about with St. X. They're just like what we were just talking about with Moeller. They're just like what we were just talking about with Wayne. There's games that these guys lose, and they show up to these games, and you're like, who is this? How are they losing? St. Iggy, if you really break down St. Iggy's got a 6'6" Division I guy going to Akron and RJ or Roy. They got the 6'3", 6'4" shooter who can get a bucket. They
A
got a
sophomore.
sophomore coming off the bench that honestly kind of looks like Keontae from Northridge. You know what I'm saying? Another 6'4", 6'5" stud. They got a big that's 6'7", 6'8". He going D1. It's like St. Iggy they just don't really show up the way they're supposed to show up.
I don't. Let me say this, and I'm gonna let y'all talk.
Yeah.
I'm who St. Iggy is not coming out of Region 1. St. Ed's is coming out of Region 1.
So let's stop right there.
Ah,
Let's stop right there.
see,
I'm not mad at you.
St. Ed's is coming out of
I'm
Region
not
1. I'm
mad
tell
at
you
you.
that right now.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Brunswick is the number 1 seed. I know nothing about Brunswick. But
That's cool.
they're
I'm
number
totally
1.
fine with Brunswick going number 1 because I don't think they even good either.
All right, hold on.
but what's scary about Reynoldsburg render is they live and die by that 3, and
They
against
do.
Trotwood, they didn't really shoot it well.
They didn't.
So if they fall into that living and dying by the 3 and they're not falling, it might be a long night for Reynoldsburg.
It might be, but this is the thing, right? You got a kid in Xavier McKinney who can score 20 to 30. You got a kid in Jordy Bowers that can jump with anybody in the state, that can go get your rebounds and all that. You still got Makai Roddy. If Makai Roddy really stays locks in and doesn't come with no attitude, Kai Roddy is probably one of the more underrated guards as a sophomore in the state. So I really think that Reynoldsburg definitely does have the guys to be able to make a run. But they still got to be locked in though because they end up
Coach,
because they end up being Newark by almost 15.
Coach, I just want to
Mm.
say something real quick. I know we bouncing around, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but St. Iggy beat St. Ed's this year.
Right.
But St.
Okay,
Ed's beats
but hold on.
Lutheran.
Here
Yeah,
we go. Okay, here we
St.
go.
Ed's beat.
Here we go.
Check
Okay.
this out
Here
though.
we go.
Check this
Okay.
out though. Check this
And
out.
and, and then Luther and East beat who?
But say they beat St. Iggy.
Okay.
But
So we
but
getting
but
somewhere
but,
now. Okay.
but let's put a little context to it because I get what you're saying, Coach. They only beat them by one.
Hey, I don't care if they beat them by a half a point.
But what I'm trying to say is St. Iggy as a 3 seed is that, bro. You
Yeah, they're dangerous. No, they're
I'm
dangerous as
telling
a
you right
3 seed.
now. I'm
I
telling you
agree.
right now. Wayne does not want to see if this was a situation where you had to see St. Iggy in the first round. Wayne does not want to pull up on St. Iggy. Centerville does not want to pull up on St. Iggy. St. X, Moeller, none of these. Nobody wants to pull up on St. Iggy the first game. They could compete with anybody, in my opinion. Will they? Who
I
will
agree.
show up? I don't know. But they
I
got the
agree.
personnel to compete, bro. You know,
They do, but we done seen time and time again.
right?
Saint Iggy done got baptized.
For sure.
They done got baptized. So
For sure. They
it's
done
some
lost some
film
games.
out there it's some film out there to the point that Saint Iggy got some bad losses.
Yeah, they lost 7 times. They lost to they got a couple Catholic, Jacera Catholic, Francis Parker, De La Salle. I'm going to take a wild guess and say all these teams are somewhat powerhouses in their respective regions, states, whatever. These guys they ain't playing, no rinky no disrespect. They're not playing Beaver Creek, okay?
For
Um,
sure.
they lost to Lutheran East. They lost to Wasatch Academy at Flying to the Hoop, who was probably one of the better teams in the nation, if I'm not mistaken. You think about the losses. They lost to Westerville North. You think about the losses that they got beat. They lost to St. Ed's. I mean, if you really think about it, who has beat them that's not like a stud? St. Ed's,
But they got to see Saint Ed's again.
right? But they split.
That's why I say
But
That's
check
why
it
I
out.
say Saint Ed's is gonna come out that region.
I'm forgetting. I forgot about St. Ed. Now that you threw that in there, Render,
If I was betting, man, I'm going with St. Ed's. But I'm telling you this.
that's tough.
Them and
That's
St.
tough.
Iggy split. And the guys that beat St. Iggy, everybody that beat St. Iggy is a stud. They did
For
they
sure.
they didn't lose to no regular teams, fam.
For sure.
And they split with Eds. Eds is hot right now. Eds just beat Lutheran. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta give them, they're the king of Cleveland right now.
Who?
St.
Eds.
Ed.
Okay, I thought you about to say Iggy. I'm about to say,
St. Ed. St.
See, now
Ed. Uh,
that would be me trolling for sure.
um, I just went down to the D2, and no disrespect to anybody, but if Lima Senior and Westerville North don't handle their business and meet up, I don't know. I don't know what either team is doing. I seen Witten Woods, but I don't have a lot of faith in them.
Where did you see
From
Went Woods?
Witten Woods is Southwest
I'm saying, did you
2.
see them play though?
No, but I want
I
to say
have
if it was coach, and he basically kind of said they don't play none of them Cincinnati teams, bro.
Right,
They don't
right.
play they don't play the Princetons. They don't play none of them cats. They only
I
lost
can
one
tell you
game.
what, they play Centerville this Wednesday. If Trey is back, we'll get to see what Winton Woods is all about.
Ah,
We'll see who is who and what is what. But I
okay.
will.
Okay, this is my question, right? This is my question to y'all. How serious do y'all take these games after tournament season? After tournament season has happened,
uh,
I mean, you got to take the data
mm,
in. I think the data
I'm
matters.
are you no, are you showing plays that you're running? Are you showing plays on film? Because you got to think, right? Your first opponent is going to be probably at that game. They're probably going to be watching a lot of film on you. So, do you really want to really play them games right after tournament season?
Uh, now
I
that
don't
you
know.
said that,
Yeah,
okay, let me put my coaching hat on now, because that's an interesting
it
question.
is.
With my coaching hat, I can't give you, I can't give you playoff. I can't give you playoff. I can't give you that. I can't give you the playoff playbook. I can't give you the plays that we ain't ran all year, but we gonna throw them in there for the playoffs. So you right. I'm playing to win, but I'm not playing to impress.
Are you playing? Are you playing your younger guys and getting them ready for the tournament as well?
For sure. For sure. Those 3 to 4 guys that you named at the beginning of the broadcast, pump, that didn't perform well against Saint X,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably giving them more minutes than they've probably seen all year. This game,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably giving them a lot more minutes than they've seen, just for the just to try to build a little bit more trust, to see, all right, y'all had a bad game last game. Let's see what y'all gonna do this game.
I'm gonna be real, man. I've never coached before, so I can't really speak on it like I want to. But I would be kind of taking like a little bit of a page out of what you guys were talking about earlier. And at this point, I want to put some of these weaker guys in to see who am I going to play? Who's going to sit on the bench? Who's going to play in this playoffs? I
Mm.
need to. It's a stress test. I'm trying to see like, are you ready? Okay, you ain't ready. You still ain't ready. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
Because you never know.
it. Right.
You might have a guy or two get into foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You might you might have a tweaked
Yeah.
ankle. You
Yeah.
might, so you
That's a good.
definitely want to know if you could
Right.
trust a guy that you
Well,
wouldn't normally trust.
that goes
It's
back to
kind
what
of
we
it's
talked
kind of
about.
like living in scenarios now. What if this happens? What if
Well, so
that happens? Can I call on this kid? Can I call on that kid? So
and bro, that's why I
interesting
was.
perspective.
That's why I was so because I hear both of y'all saying, but I think that's why I was so concerned to see those guys on Centerville's bench come in and not produce. It's like, hey, somebody might get in foul trouble. Anything can happen. I need to know, are y'all ready to come in and play? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, what's up? Because because coach, you was like, when they played against Wayne, up 20, down, now they only up 10. Boy, that whistle, whoops, hey, them five came, they was over there like, hey, man, come on, man. Go ahead and sit down, bro.
yeah,
I got it. I got it.
yeah.
That worried me about Centerville. That was a red flag because I can't take out my five. You playing great teams, somebody got to get a break every now and again. Again, to Smith's point, somebody might get in foul trouble. There's too many variables. So if I can't rely on my 6'7" man, like, hey, that's a red flag because Lakota, they can rely on 6'7". The best teams can rely on people coming off the bench and still producing. They
I
don't have
agree.
to just keep the same people in the game. Westerville North had, I can't remember, White Cat, he was a shooter. I only think he shot one time, made a three. We didn't see him for the rest of the game.
And number 11 started for Westerville, and I want to say he might have had a nice little layup or two late as well, but he didn't take a lot of shots neither.
No. So
And he started.
So is it safe to say in Division II basketball, y'all see nobody outside of Lima and Westerville?
Hold
What about
on. Let me say
Whitmer
this.
or what about Toledo St. John's? What's up with
I
these
was
guys?
just I was just about to say. I think Toledo St. John's will give Lima Senior a game. I think they will give him a real game because I seen him up at the Lima scrimmage, and I think like you only get like two halves, like 2 10-minute halves.
Mm-hmm.
They gave man, listen, when I say they gave Lakota West a run for their money,
Mm-hmm.
like when I tell you like I think they ended up beating Lakota West by like I think it was beating them by by as much as like 12 to 13 points.
Mm-hmm.
And in that type of scrimmage, you beating them by that much, Like that really shows me how good Toledo St. John's is.
Yo, wanna hear
So
And that's a tough little.
y'all wanna hear
That's
something
tough
crazy?
right there. They got St. Francis is a 3 seed. Toledo starts to 4. St. John's first matchup is Ashland, but then they'll get the winner either Toledo DeSales or Toledo Start,
Do y'all
and
wanna
that's
hear
three
something
four seeds.
interesting? Because I got something interesting if y'all want to hear it, man. St. John's beat St. Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
who? Who? Hey,
Mm,
Toledo. Hey, I'm trying to tell. Hey, Toledo St. Don't sleep on them. Please
Hey,
do not. Hey, that I was kind of nervous of Lima Senior going up to Division 2. I was nervous. I mean, not to Division 2. I was nervous of Lima Senior going up to Toledo because they was gonna have to end up running into St. John's, and St. John's has a couple guys that's about 6'7", 6'8", that can really shoot the basketball. So like once again, it all comes down to possessions, and I really think like I don't know how Lima Senior's tempo on how they play defensively. I don't know if that can be able to translate onto a big floor.
mm, interesting. Because I'm gonna tell you
You
something.
know,
They beat St. Edwards by 11.
that's crazy. Ooh, that is crazy. That's crazy.
I'm telling you,
mm.
like, do not
That's
sleep on.
crazy.
And you know how Toledo basketball is. Toledo basketball
No,
is
for
no
sure.
different than Columbus, no different than Cincinnati, no different than Cleveland, no different than Dayton. It's elite.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. We'll probably have to come back to probably get into these other divisions. I know I'm for what is Dayton D3, Dunbar, what is Dunbar D3,
Dunbar D4.
D4,
Yeah.
Trotwood's D3, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Nah, that
D3.
D3.
Yeah, we'll probably have to meet probably again one another time this week. I'm pretty sure we are anyway, but so we could kind of get into the D3s and the D4s.
Crazy
I'll talk
Desert.
about Tri Village and see where they at as
Yeah,
well.
stuff like that. So
They
we'll
went,
definitely,
they went
and we
undefeated,
got
bro.
we got some more special things for y'all leading up into these playoffs that we don't really want to speak on right now, but definitely get back into these other divisions sometimes this week, Division 3 and down as well. Cuz I'm seeing a lot of interesting matchups, a lot of interesting teams. I didn't know D3 and D4 was kind of this deep as far as teams.
Deep,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's really light. D1 and D2 really light. I'm pretty sure because of the how the way they broke the divisions down. So we'll definitely need to have another pod for those divisions as well. Because like you said, I want to get into the tri villages. I want to get into the Lutheran East, Dunbar, Trotwood, Alter, Baton. There's a few teams that we didn't get to touch up on.
I'm
Giving the
I'm
spotlight to the D1 and the D2, but
I'm
definitely
I'm
need to run back around, spin a block on that.
before we get off, I'm gonna tell you one matchup that's gonna happen very early that you have to be able to watch out for. Is Division 4 Dunbar Northridge,
mm.
and
Whoa! I need to find this. I need to
that's
find this
before
right now.
and that's before
Hold
districts.
up. Let me find this. Let me find this, Render. We'll
That
close
is
out on this, but let me find this first. I gotta
no,
find this.
that's a for
Oh,
sure
hold
matchup.
up now. Hold on. I got it right here. So Dunbar plays Eaton. Northridge waits for the winner of Bell Fountain and Northwestern. And after that, this is March 3rd.
Hmm.
Uh Dunbar and Northridge, if both of them handle business. Woo!
That's a spicy early matchup.
Woo!
That's a spicy early
Woo!
matchup.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I only got to see Northridge at one time, but the way Dunbar pressures the ball and the pace that Dunbar plays with, that could be a Dunbar dub, bro. Respectfully.
Ooh. Hey, hey, man, listen. Man, I'm Northridge has some good wins. They have some very good wins.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
for
North
sure.
Northridge definitely has some very good wins against a couple of quality opponents.
Mason. I mean,
Yes.
Elder. I mean, even though they probably down this year, Elder, that was a big win for him.
Yeah, yep, definitely. And I think they beat a solid Hilliard Davidson team as well. So
And I mean, even though we kind of kicked their back in this year, them beating a solid Springfield team is nice on their resume as well. I
yes, I
can't
agree.
I
I agree.
definitely can't overlook that win for them. That's definitely a good win for them.
But I think the only loss that they had is when they played against Westerville North and ended up losing to them by almost 30.
Mm, too much.
But they don't. There wasn't no way they was gonna be able to
I
compete
ain't
with
gonna lie.
them.
This Division 4 is kind of interesting, fam.
Yeah, man. I didn't. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know that.
Couple teams out there.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Just going
We
through
we
here.
we got to touch on that the next time because that's gonna be
Yeah, we got to
spicy.
get
I'm
back.
telling you.
Yeah, we got to get back. We got to get back to this, man. We got to get back
Here's
to
the
this.
thing, man. We could leave with this, and this is for the people. I'm telling you, do not look at these divisions and think like, you will get smacked, run up on some of these
Hmm.
guys in these deep
I
divisions.
mean
These
that
deep fours.
Tri Village doing what they did to
Right.
Fairmont, it kind of just turned my whole perspective of these divisions around, bro. That was the one game that was like, hey man, I don't really think it matter. If you could ball, you could ball. That's
Yeah,
I mean, you got to break them up divisions because that's what you got to do. But once that whistle blow and that ref throw that ball up for that tip off, either you can hoop or not. Either you a cooker or you ain't. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. And I feel like some of these teams that's in these lower divisions, they looking at it like I put my shoes on just like you.
Right.
You don't have to beat me. I
yep,
don't care about the division, the tradition. When it's time to play, we here.
I just want to say something real quick. We can leave with this, man. Tri Village went 22-0 and pretty much did not have a reasonably close game the whole season.
mm,
They beat somebody, Tri County North. They beat them 80-18. I mean, obviously, you know what they did to Fairmont. Fairmont scores 19 points. I mean, Jaden McGraw averages 20 points a game. Um, beat Belmont, beat, guys beating them 68-46, 53-35, 58-15, 88-25. I mean, just beating the brakes off guys. They beat Vandalia Butler 46-32, and that's probably like one of the better games they've had. They won by 6 against Fort Recovery. Like, I mean, I don't know that, the talent of these guys, but like I said, man, I watched Tri Village up close and personal. It's going to be very tough for them to not see them being a state winner unless there's somebody out there that I'm not thinking about in their division.
I think you might be right because I do think them going undefeated and them beating some of the top higher seeds, not top higher seeds, but top higher division
Yeah,
division 1 teams.
yeah,
I really think they have a chance to win the state championship
for sure.
and bringing it back to Tri Village.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, and they got every piece. If they can stay healthy,
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about tournament time. You have to be able to stay healthy. If
right?
you can be able to stay healthy, you have a chance.
Well, look at Centerville. Trey Sam, a groin. Look at Lima Senior, Sean Foster, ankle. You're 20 games in now. Anything can happen 20
Yep.
games in. Now you're
Yep.
going 20 plus games in because we're talking about the playoffs. So to your point, hey, there's a lot of variables, but if these
What
guys
is it?
can stay
7
healthy,
wins?
yeah,
7-0?
yeah,
Who
you gotta play.
who
Yeah, you
who
gotta
who
play.
who could go 7-0?
Right. Facts, man. Facts. So all right, fellas, until next time we can dive into these other brackets.
Yes, sir, man.
As
Four
always,
quarters
man.
podcast. It's tourney time, the best time of the year, March Madness.
Let's get it, baby. Let's get it, Coach. Always a pleasure, man. Good luck with the rest of the games.
Appreciate
Smith.
it, man.
Swish basketball. Shout out to the Swish family, man.
Hey, man. Shout
Young
out to the
cats,
family,
man. The
man.
young cats.
Hey, man. Hey. I'm gonna say this. It's gonna be a really good game, and I advise y'all to come out and come watch this game. The Aiden Swiss versus Gem City Heat, sixth grade. It's gonna be a really good game. We done played twice already. We split, but I'm talking about the atmosphere.
When is it?
It's on Tuesday. Tuesday
Tuesday.
at
Shout it out,
Tuesday
man. Give us the details, man.
two,
We'll
two,
clip it up for you.
Tuesday 7 o'clock. Court one at the John Wooden Athletic Complex out in Xenia.
Senior, right?
Yep, yep. Where we had the fall league at.
Bet.
Where we
Yes,
had the
sir.
fall league. Standing room only. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Standing room only.
Yes, sir. You muted.
Dogs keep barking. I keep trying to mute, man. But y'all fellas have a great night, man. Four Quarters podcast got a lot to cover, as Smith said. March Madness. Coach Ren, we're gonna check out the sixth grade guys, see what they're hitting for, because I imagine some of those sixth grade guys that's out there, future guys we'll be talking about on this podcast
Yes,
later on.
yes,
Coach Renner has a tendency to get see these guys in their earlier years. You can name anybody. He's either coached them or played against them. So
yes,
we'll be sure to be out there, man.
yep.
Yes, sir.
Podcast, baby.
Yeah, this 2032 class gonna be really good. It's gonna bring Dayton back to where it was before. It's gonna be a goodie. Make
I
sure y'all
believe
Yes,
come
it.
out.
sir.
I
Yes,
believe it.
sir.
All right, fellas. Four quarters, man. We out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.